What if Burna Boy is not as rich as we think? If you're interested in knowing why, then watch till the end of this video. Burna Boy is one of the biggest stars in the world of Afrobeats. His hit songs, sold-out tours, and collaborations with international artists make him seem like he's at the top of his game financially. But when you look a little closer, things might not be as straightforward as they seem. Let's talk about Burna Boy's record deal with Atlantic Records. He signed this deal back in 2017. At first, it seemed like a huge win for him. I mean, signing with a big international label like Atlantic Records sounds like a dream come true, right? It means more promotion, better connections, and a chance to take his music to the world stage. And it worked. Burna Boy became a global superstar. His music reached places it might not have without their help. But here's where things get interesting and surprising. According to reports, Burna Boy only earns 10% of the royalties from his music streams. That means for every dollar his music makes on streaming platforms like Spotify, Apple Music, or YouTube, Burna Boy only gets 10%. Just 10%. The rest, a whopping 90%, goes to Atlantic Records and their partners. Think about it for a second. Burna Boy's music has billions of streams. That sounds like a ton of money, right? But if he's only getting 10%, it's not as much as it looks. Let's say his music makes $10 million from streaming, Burna Boy would only take home $1 million, while the other $9 million goes to the label. When you break it down like that, it really makes you wonder if the deal is fair for him, and it doesn't stop there. These kinds of deals usually come with even more deductions. The label might take additional cuts for things like marketing, promotions, and distribution. So, even from the 10% he's supposed to get, there might be other expenses reducing his share even more. You might ask, why would Burna Boy agree to a deal like this? Well, in 2017, Burna Boy was already a big name in Africa, but he wasn't a global artist yet. He needed the resources and connections that a label like Atlantic Records could provide. For someone trying to reach a bigger audience, signing a deal like this can feel like the only way to make it happen. It's a trade-off. You give up a big portion of your earnings, but you get the push you need to grow your career. Now, don't get me wrong, Burna Boy is still making money. But the fact that he's only getting a small share of what his music earns shows just how tricky the music business can be. Even for an artist as big as Burna Boy, the system doesn't always favor the talent. This is why so many artists later renegotiate their contracts. Once they've proven their worth and become successful, they have more power to ask for better terms. Burna Boy is at that stage now. He's one of the biggest artists in the world, and he has the leverage to change things if he wants to. But until then, every time you stream Burna Boy's music, remember this: while his songs are bringing joy to millions of people worldwide, most of the money goes to his label, not him. It's a side of the music industry that people don't talk about enough, and it's important to understand how things really work behind the scenes. At first glance, you might think Burna Boy is making millions from his music streams. After all, his songs are everywhere, and he has billions of streams on platforms like Spotify and Apple Music. But when you realize he only gets a small share, just 10% of the royalties, his actual income might not be as much as people imagine. It's not just about how much his music earns, it's about how much he actually gets to keep. Some people might say, okay, but artists don't rely on streams to make money. They earn big from concerts and live performances. And yes, it's true that shows are a major source of income for artists. Burna Boy's concerts are massive. He's known for selling out big venues all over the world, from arenas in Europe to huge festivals in the United States and Africa. It's clear that his performances bring in a lot of money. But here's something many people don't think about: touring is really expensive. When Burna Boy goes on tour, it's not just him showing up with a microphone. There's a whole team involved, from the band and backup singers to the sound engineers, lighting experts, and stage crew. These people all need to be paid. Then there's the cost of transportation. If Burna Boy and his team are flying around the world, that's a lot of money spent on flights, hotels, and food. If he's performing with big stage setups, transporting the equipment also adds to the bill. Let's not forget the cost of production. Have you seen the lights, visuals, and special effects at his shows? All of that costs money. Even things like marketing and promotions for the shows, like billboards, ads, and social media campaigns, are part of the budget. By the time all these expenses are covered, the money that's left for Burna Boy might not be as much as you'd expect. It's not like he gets to keep every dollar made from ticket sales. A big chunk of it goes toward making the tour happen in the first place. So, while it's true that Burna Boy makes good money from performing live, the reality is that the profits he takes home might not be as huge as people think. His shows might look like big money makers, but once you account for all the costs, the numbers might not be as impressive. At the end of the day, the music business is complicated. It's not just about how much money you make, it's about how much you actually get to keep. For Burna Boy, even with all his success, the expenses and contracts take a big bite out of his earnings. Burna Boy is not just known for his music but also for living a luxurious lifestyle that many people dream of. He's got a collection of expensive cars, often seen flying in private jets, and is always dressed in designer clothes. These things are a clear sign of his success and how far he has come in his career. However, it's important to remember that living such a high-end lifestyle isn't as simple as it looks. For example, owning a private jet isn't just about buying it. There are ongoing costs like fuel, maintenance, storage fees, and even paying for the crew. These expenses can add up to a lot of money. The same goes for owning luxury cars. Buying $1 million car is one thing, but maintaining it, paying for insurance, and keeping it in top condition are ongoing costs that can take a big chunk out of his earnings. When you see Burna Boy rocking designer clothes, remember that these outfits often come with huge price tags. And while it's part of his brand and image as a superstar, it's also another expense to keep up with. All these things might make it seem like he's living the dream life without any worries, but there's a lot more to it. On top of that, being a successful artist means dealing with contracts, managers, and other people who take their cut. The money he earns from shows, endorsements, and streaming isn't all his to keep. By the time he pays everyone involved, the amount he actually takes home might be much less than what people imagine. So, while Burna Boy's life looks glamorous and exciting from the outside, the reality might not be as straightforward when you consider all the costs and expenses that come with maintaining such a lifestyle. It's a reminder that success comes with its own challenges, and even the richest and most famous people have financial realities they have to deal with. Burna Boy is one of the biggest names in music today, and his success is undeniable. He's known not just for his talent but also for the luxurious lifestyle he lives. Beyond his lifestyle, there's the music industry itself. Even though Burna Boy earns a lot from his music, he doesn't get to keep all of it. Contracts with record labels often mean artists only receive a fraction of the money made from their work. For example, some artists end up with just 10% of their royalties. That might sound surprising, but it's common. Artists agree to these deals because record labels offer resources and connections that can help them reach bigger audiences. Burna Boy was already a big name in Africa before signing with Atlantic Records. But signing with a major label gave him the chance to grow even more, reaching fans all over the world. It's a trade-off. The label invests in promoting the artist, and in return, they take a significant portion of the profits. It's not always an ideal situation, but it's often necessary for artists to achieve global success. However, Burna Boy isn't stuck. With the level of success he's reached, he has more options now. He could renegotiate his contracts for better terms, ensuring he keeps a larger share of what he earns. Another option is going independent. This would mean he'd have to manage more of his career on his own, but it also means he'd get to keep most of the money his music makes. Going independent is a lot of work, but it's also very rewarding for artists who want more control over their earnings and career. Burna Boy's story is a reminder that fame doesn't always mean endless wealth. Even someone as talented and successful as him faces financial challenges. Maintaining a luxurious lifestyle is expensive, and the music industry can be tough when it comes to money. At the same time, Burna Boy's journey is inspiring. It shows how hard work and talent can open doors to incredible opportunities. It also highlights the importance of smart financial decisions and planning. As fans, we often see the glamorous side of fame, but it's worth remembering the hard work and sacrifices that go on behind the scenes. Burna Boy is a global star, but like everyone else, he has to navigate the ups and downs of life and money.